We don't really have a name for this type of video. We haven't done this before. Yeah, so you get some bad news to start with, but don't worry, stick around. We've got some good news for you too. So
happy ending. It's a bit sleazy that.
No matter how dirty you feel with the news, you'll always get a happy ending with us.
Bethesda games are pretty well known for their mod support, and in fact it's probably one of their biggest features. The modding community makes up a large portion of Bethesda's fanbase, and it keeps people coming back to play Bethesda games years after release. So why in the living hell, is that good?
Good work.
Have Bethesda stopped the release of one of the most anticipated mods this year?
Over the weekend, the developers of Skyrim Together, a mod which adds co-op to Skyrim, announced they would not be releasing the mod on the Steam Workshop. Why the bloody hell not, you might ask? Well, according to the mod's developers, Bethesda blocked them from releasing the mod on Steam with no apparent reason. In a Reddit comment, one of the developers said they had to seek approval from Bethesda before releasing the mod, and while Bethesda were supportive of the mod, they asked the devs politely not to release it on the Steam Workshop. The developer said, quote, "We have been in discussions with Bethesda, and while they are fine with us releasing the mod, they weren't with us publishing the mod on Steam, and we relied heavily on the Steam APIs for party and lobby systems. But the developers say the mod will still come out, it just needs a bit of reworking." The developer said, quote, "It will push back the dev a bit while we figure out a way to make our own party and lobby systems. It might sound like a trivial task, but we expect thousands of concurrent players, meaning we need something that scales well, and that's a complicated story."
Understandably, fans were disappointed by the news, and they started to speculate as to why Bethesda suddenly decided to block the mod on Steam. Some commenters thought because the mod was multiplayer focused, it might dent the sales and subscriptions for Bethesda's own Elder Scrolls Online. Another commenter thought Bethesda might want to get the mod on the Creation Club, or they were working on their own similar co-op mode. However, one user pointed out that the developers of Skyrim Together wanted to release the mod as its own game, so it would have required its own Steam page, effectively making it its own product. So it's understandable that Bethesda wouldn't want another developer releasing a game using their assets, game engine, and name recognition.
This is out of character for Bethesda, really. Up until now, they've only been really supportive of mods from my experience, and so it makes you wonder, why are they blocking this? They're still in support of it, they're still allowing them to develop and release this mod, but not on Steam. And it makes you wonder, there's obviously some problem with them that clashes with their interests, with them release it on Steam. So what could that be, Jake?
Well, we've seen a sort of thing before with World of Warcraft blocking the old servers, and then, oh, what a surprise, they've announced WoW Legacy, the old servers. Seems to happen a lot when there's a conflict of interest with a mod and an official idea. So it might be something that they're going to be implementing in Skyrim. They've just started putting it to the Switch. So it could be perhaps that they are working eventually on a co-op mod themselves for maybe the Creation Club. But like you said, there's been a lot of mod support from Bethesda already. 28,000 mods on the Steam Workshop. And the Steam API, if you was wondering what that is, it's the sort of thing where when you're on Steam, you can, right click and invite friends to game and things like that. And Skyrim Together was kind of reliant on that to get parties going, to get lobbies going, inviting friends to games. And without that now, they're going to be having to use their own launcher, assumedly, and they're also going to be having to make their own networking and framework inside the game to get people to play together, which is obviously going to delay the project by quite a while. That sounds complicated, right? The art of making a single player game multiplayer, and they were using Steam quite heavily for that. So who knows if it'll now be out 2018. It could be even further away than we first think.
But this isn't the only bit of Bethesda mod news this week. Another highly anticipated mod, this time from Fallout New Vegas, called New California, has been given the release date of early 2018. New California has been in development for almost 4 years, made by Radian Helix Media. New California is a new story set 20 years before the events of Fallout New Vegas, and tells the story of your player character, an adopted resident of Vault 18, on the night of the last big Vault Ball game of the season. A civil war erupts overnight, forcing the player to pick a side and escape into the wasteland with their ragtag party of robots and friends. Sounds like a party I want to be involved in. I'm not too ill, though, obviously.
Yeah, that's like, well, we replaced you with a robot like this, right?
Harsh. The mod adds a wealth of new content, including 8 possible companions, over 19 hours of brand new voice acting, 2 new radio stations to jam out to, and apparently over 24 hours worth of gameplay. According to the developers, compared to the original Fallout New Vegas map, New California is, quote, about 60% of the size. Compared to Fallout 3, it's about 75%. The developers also say the mod has 13 endings split between 6 major story branches, so there is a lot of role playing to be done. So be ready to strap on those spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle,
And get ready to explore New California early next year.
Fantastic, bravo!
Thank you. So, we told you there was going to be some good news, and it wasn't that. It was this.
Yeah.
Fallout New Vegas, New California. Bit of a bad title, let's be honest.
Why would you call it a bad title?
Because it's new twice. It's just a bit new.
Well, New California Republic are like one of the biggest factions in it, aren't they? So.
Yeah, it's just a bit new. I don't know.
I mean, it's great. Here's great news for fans of the. Let's talk about the thing. The name's fine in my opinion, and it's great news for fans of the series. My favourite Fallout game by far, and the fact that they've even mentioned that before you even leave the Vault 18 or whatever it is, you get to choose between your sides, and that's what Fallout 4 was missing. It's like the choice of being bad or good. You know what I mean? The fact that they're adding so much content to Fallout New Vegas, new area, 24 hours worth of gameplay. Loads of new voice acting. Yeah. I'm just salivating at the thought of it.
New companions as well, which is something that a lot of people enjoy about the Fallout games, all these different companions. This has been completely conceptualized. You can see art for it right now over on their mod page and a bunch of other stuff. If you are fancying checking it out, obviously there'll be a link to the description. But it seems like this is going to be a huge one, and for free. Who's complaining at that? New Vegas is one of the most beloved games in the whole series, and it's one that's often forgotten about because Bethesda didn't actually make it. That was Obsidian, right? So we don't really see many things like that, and it's nice to see that after 5-6 years, it's great to see it's being supported a lot of years after release and not just pushed aside.
This is what's great about the PC community and Bethesda games, right? You can get so much value for money out of these Bethesda games like Skyrim, all the Fallouts, all the ones that they support modding for. This is what's great. Yeah. I mean, I bought this game so long ago, and I'm getting another 24 hours. I'll probably play it. I'll probably get it. It's just absolutely free. A huge thanks, obviously, to Radeon Helix Media, who are the team behind this. And apparently on their blog, you can see a list of all the people who have contributed. So it's like there's 2 main guys or something, but there's loads of people who've contributed. Let's just wait until we get that mod in the new year. Screw all these AAA games and all that microtransaction bullshit. This is where the real gaming's at these days. That's what I say.
Surprisingly relaxing noise.
What's that? I know it's like ASMR, isn't it? You will like us. If new Fallout New Vegas is going to be beautiful.
What a kiss. So there's our Bethesda mod double bill. Some bad news, followed by some good news. Whatever you think, let us know down in the comments below. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see some more stuff from us in the future. Hey, there's a video right here you can click on right now. There's also a link to our Patreon if you want to support the channel. And until then, we'll see you next time.